2016 alcohol use led to as many as 8 million deaths worldwide and was also the leading risk factor for early death and disability for teens and young adults ages 15 to 49. Well, now a new study is getting attention, claiming the only way to avoid risks is to have no alcohol. Meg Ferris looks into the details.
This study stands out from others, says the director of the LSU Health Alcohol and Drug Abuse Center. Dr. Nick Gilpin says it's global, with hundreds of researchers looking at people 15 to 95 years old over 26 years.
It's huge, and it obviously took a lot of effort, and I think it's impressive for its scope.
Smaller studies have looked at one piece of health, but this one, the big picture. Biological, like cancers and strokes, and behavioral, like wrecks and violence, and the type, proof, and amount of alcohol at different ages.
For adolescents, we know the brain is developing until the age of 25, especially the cortex, so it's especially vulnerable to alcohol and drug effects. We know that binging has particularly negative effects on the brain and potentially other organs.
It showed that the only way to lower your risk of the many health problems that lead to death or impairment and disability was to have no alcohol, a substance that's been called a toxin in some medical literature.
Even individuals that are on the lower end of the spectrum, drinking what we consider to be low amounts of alcohol, fared worse than individuals drinking no alcohol.
Even with a well-known study showing drinking red wine helped lower heart disease, it's still unclear how much of the benefit comes from the healthful natural chemical in the grape skins or the alcohol.
To conclude, for example, that alcohol is healthy based on a potentially slightly lower risk for heart disease would be not very logical, because you're ignoring about 1,000 other potential health impacts of alcohol.
And while tourists vacationing in New Orleans and drinking on Bourbon Street is far, far from a scientific sample, we got their predictable reactions to the study.
If it's going to make my life shorter, then at least I know what I'm dying from.
You only have one life, and as long as you don't abuse it, you're fine.
I don't believe in it. Alcohol is good for the soul.
Meg Ferris, Eyewitness News, Medical Watch.